A foghorn moans once, then the harbor swallows the sound. Somewhere beyond the breakwater, a steel trawler slips into open water, its name scraped off, its running lights dimmed low. No passenger manifest, no return date, just a promise scrawled on a Motel flyer. One-way ticket. Felonies welcome. Welcome to Dust and Echoes, where I, James Cawley, tell you the stories that hide beneath rust, brine, and sleepless tides. Every week I bring you a new original story, some full of terror, mystery, and the knowing that something lies under the dark water just below your feet, waiting just for you. Tonight's story is called The Deckhand. It's the tale of a good man who made some bad mistakes, hunting for a new beginning in the worst possible place. An ex-con chasing a clean horizon. A captain who believes that those who don't have many options shouldn't ask too many questions. All you need to know is a black water channel waits ahead, a storm is rolling in, and some jobs pay out in secrets instead of cash. And if the fog starts whispering your name, don't look over the rail, because out here, in the darkness of the open ocean, you won't like what you see looking back. This is the Deckhand. Fleet Harbor, Washington. The bus wheezed to its final halt and died like a thing relieved to quit breathing. Joey stepped down into ankle-deep puddles that tasted of rust when the wind whipped spray against his lips. The air here was coins and diesel and something sweetly rotten, apple cores forgotten in a metal lunch pail. It clung to the tongue. His life fit into a gray prison-issue duffel. One boot sole peeled at the toe. He let it flap. There would be time for glue or tape later, or not at all. Fleet Harbor lay before him exactly as the name had warned, waterlogged, fog-choked, half-surrendering to the tide. Houses sagged like wet boxes. The trees were silvered and raw, where the bark had sloughed. Moss thickened the cracks that once were sidewalks. Everything colorless, except a lone neon open, buzzing purple-pink, outside the Silver Spray Motel, its letters blinking. Open. He crossed the lot. Gravel crunched like bone fragments under the heel. An old man crouched by the ice machine, muttering the same broken phrase. Key fell. Damn great swallowed it. Joey knelt without a word, slid his arm into the dark lattice where water dripped cold as intravenous fluid. Metal teeth sliced his wrist, but he did not flinch. His fingers found a single key slick with algae, lifted it into the light. The old man blinked at the miracle, yet offered no thanks, only shuffled off crabwise the key held like a lucky coin. Joey watched him vanish, then pushed through the motel door. The lobby. Plexiglass yellowed by nicotine walled him from the clerk. A television behind her performed a courtroom melodrama at lungburst volume. The carpet surrendered the smell of wet dog and burnt coffee grounds. Cash or voucher? She asked, eyes never leaving the trial. Joey slid his state re-entry debit card under the slot. One night. Transaction done, voice forgotten. He turned and stopped. On the corkboard, a paper sagged from rusty thumbtacks, edges furred with Pacific damp. 12-point times, New Roman, Public Library inkjet. Wanted, Deckhand, no experience necessary. One-way shuttle to Whittier, Alaska, disconnect to reconnect. Felonies welcome, call. Captain Cook. Followed by what Joey assumed was the captain's cell number. One way, felonies welcome. The words rang like church bells in a ruined town. He tore off the strip bearing the number. Fog pressed against the lobby window, as though eavesdropping. Room 6. It smelled of vinegar, mildew. The mattress sagged like a prisoner forced to stand again. Joey sat, the room's radiator rattling a death sentence under the window. Heat poured out. He opened the pane anyway. He studied the phone for 5 full minutes, measured by the ticking pipe, before he dialed. 4 rings. Cook. a calm voice answered, gently amused, the way a cat plays with string. I saw your ad. You work boats? No, Joey said, but I learned fast. A pause. Ever kill a man? Joey blinked once. No. Cook chuckled low. That's all I need to know. Dock 7, Fleet Harbor Marina, tomorrow morning at 0600 hours. Only bring what you need. Click. The dial tone thrummed like a trapped horsefly. Joey let it buzz against his ear until it became the ocean in a shell. Because he understood, this was not employment. It was a direction on a compass he had broken years ago. The radiator groaned through its metal throat, and the man in room 5 coughed as though shredding paper inside his lungs. Joey lay flat, cravings crawling under skin, just a drink, just a spike. But they passed like storm clouds that promise thunder, yet move on. From his pack, he drew a scuffed leather case, prison storage tape still clinging. Inside, 3 dog-eared notebooks, an envelope unopened since sentencing, and a brass compass, lid clicked shut. He thumbed it open. Needle quivered north. His uncle's gift. Back when Morse code had to be tapped for allowance, back before the DUI, before the dope. He closed it. Listened to the wind gnaw the siding. Joey wasn't stupid. That was always the curse. He didn't sleep that night. He just laid looking at the popcorn ceiling of this horrible hotel room, waiting to slip away into a new life, waiting on a new beginning. Dock 7. Fog rolled off the harbor in sheets, silent and deliberate. Joey waited with duffel slung across one shoulder, boots wet, cigarette burning down to nothing. Nobody had asked him to quit. He was clean, not holy. The vessel arrived like a rumor. No horn, only the low churn of diesel heard first in the spine. Steel hull. Paint scabbed. A name sanded away so another ghost name beneath showed faint as bruises. Cook stood on deck, taller than the voice suggested. Beard the color of ash after rain, eyes the flat blue of glacier melt. You're early, he said. Bad sleeper. Cook gestured. Come aboard. Joey climbed the slick ladder. Cook handed him coffee, black, no lid. It scalded the tongue and tasted of burnt rubber and nights without moon. No other crew? Joey asked. Don't need any. Cook sipped. Most don't last long anyway. Above them, gulls circled, but none cried out. They had already left the safety of the harbor by the time dawn broke across the sky. Joey was on the bow side of the boat, gloved hands curled around cold rail. Fleet Harbor fell behind without ceremony, its street lamps thinned by fog until they looked like drowned candles. The water heaved slow, the boat steady on heavy diesel guts and stabilizers that croaked when a swell shouldered past. Cook's voice rode the wind without turning his head. You get seasick, Miller? No. Good. You puke. You mop. Nothing more. Conversation shut like a hatch. The horizon showed no seam, only the rolling blend of sky and water, palette of tin and slate. Joey lit his last cigarette and tasted copper beneath the smoke. He decided, with a vow that felt both brave and useless, that if he made it far enough away, the smokes would stay behind him like the shore. A gull tried a single cry, reconsidered, wheeled off. By afternoon, the sea changed registers. Not rough, but wrong. A sluggish drift that pressed against instinct. Joey had spent 3 summers on state-owned work skiffs. He knew how the coastline should sit off a starboard glass this close to the inside passage. Instead, there was only uncut horizon and a sun that rose out of place. Cook handled the wheel one-handed, a statue carved of old rope and salt. He hummed sometimes. Thin sailor hymnals with no words. Joey listened, eyes down, assigning chores to muscle memory. Coil line, scrub, rust bleed, rinse deck. Work muted worry. In the wheelhouse, a leather-cracked binder lay half open. Charts. He saw lat-long scribbles pointing southwest, not north. He said nothing. Knowledge could live quiet a long while if a man let it. But he watched, and he waited. When darkness settled, it brought rain that slipped sideways, sly rather than hard. Cook killed forward-running lights to save battery, leaving only the weak stern lamp painting a trembling cone over black water. Joey stood alone on deck. The ocean breathed under the hull, deep, patient. Joey tried to place the rhythm, to remember classroom lessons on trough cadence, but the numbers blurred. He felt the boat sliding not through water, but through some larger hush. Mid-watch, he caught Cook staring from the wheelhouse doorway, eyes pale in the rain. No dialogue, just study. Then the captain turned and vanished like a scene cut too quick. Morning. Slate sky again. Wind heavier. Joey hauled the anchor winch for practice, Cook's idea, and felt the flex of cable sighing out of water. He checked engine gauges when told, swabbed bilge boards, tied knots he already knew while Cook taught. He kept the dog roll. Broken things draw no blades. But inside his head he plotted bearings. He measured sunrise against compass card, counted seconds of shadow, tasted salt density on lips. None fit a run to Whittier. They were bleeding southwest, deeper than safe water for a small trawler and far from AIS lanes. Fog throbbed thicker by noon. The boat felt intimate, coffin narrow. Rain slackened to a weave of mist. Cook vanished below, claiming a valve rattle in the engine bay. Joey guarded deck, but curiosity beat caution. He lifted the mid-deck hatch to eyeball the bilge, as Cook had told him. The iron lips stuck, then gave with a sigh, like a tired lung. Stench slapped him. Diesel film, mold, and something else. Chemical plastic left too long in fire. His flashlight blade knifed the dark water. Something pale floated, barely a glint. He snagged a boat hook, fished. The object surfaced. He looked over his shoulder and then pulled the plastic bag from the grimy water and inspected it. It was a prison-issued ID card. The photo was swollen from the water, but the text was still readable. Washington, Department of Corrections. Inmate, Rudy Wells released, 3 weeks ago. Parole address, Silver Spray Motel, room 8. Joey felt his heart beat in a way that let him know he was in trouble. He opened the bag. More IDs slid out. 3, 4, all same prefix as his. The motel was the net, the boat, the barrel. He knew what happened to a fish that got stuck in a barrel. Behind him, he heard Cook coming back up the steps. Floorboards creaked aft. Cook's boots. Joey shoved the evidence back, kicked the hatch shut. Splash erased the sound. Something down there? Cook called from shadow, rag over shoulder. Just oil, Joey managed, wiping hands on slicker. Level's fine. Cook's stare lingered. Too calm. Too thorough. In that steady meanness, Joey felt the mistake bloom. He had looked too deeply, known too much. He pivoted his gaze skyward, half-performing idiocy. You know we're 100 miles off course, he blurted, voice casual. If we aimed for Whittier, we ought to spot the capes by now. Truffset says we're riding west-southwest. Could crank 12 degrees starboard. Pick up. He cut himself off. Because Cook had gone utterly still, like a switch flipped to neutral. A breath passed. You read charts? The question soft, almost tender. Joey shrugged, as if ashamed of the science. Took a program. Long time back. Huh. Cook turned and walked away, raincoat swinging like an empty flag. When hatch metal cooled under Joey's palm, he knew the game had changed. He bunked with a wrench under the thin pillow, muscles tensing to every creak. The storm in his gut worsened. Jump for the life raft. Hide in the lazarette. Cook would find him before the compass settled. This vessel was a steel maze, and Cook its minotaur. Joey stared at the bulkhead inches from his nose, reading old paint bubbles like tea leaves. He thought of 24 IDs, maybe more. Thought of the way the captain's notebook might read like scripture of the damned. Rain drummed. Every time he neared sleep, the boat shifted, and his wound memory of prison snapped him awake. Dawn never dawned. Sky stayed iron. Sea heaved. The morning brought a dense fog cover. He found Cook at the helm squinting as he gently increased the throttle. Neither said a word. Joey could sense an unease coming from the man. One hand on the throttle and his other hand under his slicker. He knew the cook kept his knife in there. He'd seen him pull it out as if he needed to make sure he had it many times. Cook didn't think Joey saw that. Two things were for sure. They were not going where Cook said they were going. And he was now spooked. Joey should have kept his mouth shut about his nautical knowledge. He should have let the man believe he was oblivious, like the others probably were. Joey knew one thing. He had to make the first move. Maybe a quick push over the rail? No, he knew Cook could overpower him if he wanted. The fog was getting even thicker. The slow hum of the boat's engine vibrated up through the soles of his boots. Nothing but fog. Tension. Then, a loud crackle of static filled the cabin. The radio came to life, broken at first, then a voice could be heard, clearly through the radio's crackle. Unregistered vessel. This is the vessel Crabber's Luck. Dockmaster navigation logs show this quadrant clear. Are you boys all right? This is some mighty thick fog to be out here in without a navigation plan. Joey's heart slammed and skipped a beat. This was the moment he needed. As if his prayers were answered. The way he could get away from this man who he knew was likely to murder him out here. The mic for the radio now sat just a few inches from his hand. One reach. One word. Cook tensed and looked right at him. It was as if the devil himself met Joey's gaze. Joey stepped forward. One reach. Joey hissed as he felt the cold iron of the knife slide into his body just under his right shoulder blade. The stab precise, neat, pressure practiced and perfect. He had done this before. Many times Joey thought as he choked back a gasp. Cook's whisper grazed his ear. Say one damn word, and I'll feed the gulls your left lung while you watch. Pain bright and electric tore down spine. Legs buckled. Not absence of feeling. Worse. Threads cut in a marionette. He folded, mouth open, but voiceless. Cook lifted the mic. His voice changed, now sounding as friendly as a warm cup of maple syrup. Appreciate the concern, Captain. Radio's been acting up. We'll tag along behind you. Silence on the line. Tentative. The neighboring trawler eased past, spotlight fading until only mist glowed. Cook crouched, knife still kissing meat, quiet pleasure in his tone. You should have kept pretending. I had hopes for you, Joey. Then the blade slid out, warm, slick. As soon as Cook removed the knife, Joey fell to the floor. He had cut something in his back. He hadn't just stabbed Joey, he knew exactly how to disable his motor functions, how to hobble his prey. Cook straightened, wiped the knife across his slicker, then drifted back toward the wheelhouse as though nothing urgent had happened. Just a chore, half finished. Joey's palms pressed into the deck, rainwater diluting the warmth that leaked from his wound. He could feel his legs, every nerve alive and screaming. Yet the current between thought and muscle had gone erratic. He twitched, but could not stand. Wind shook the rigging. Between gusts, he heard the captain humming again. Faint. A lullaby without words. The world had narrowed to engine throb, rain hiss, and that hymn spiraling through metal walls. He crawled. Knuckles. Elbows. The slow drag of boots that no longer obeyed. Each shove of the deck sent a bolt of glass up his spine, but fear worked stronger than morphine. He reached the stairwell, slid down one riser at a time, boots clanging, breath rattling. Diesel fumes thickened below, tinged by bleach and something sharp. Ozone from frayed wiring maybe, or the after-smell of flares stored too near heat. Storage cabinets lined the passage, padlocked. The supply locker, also locked. His gaze snagged on Cook's personal crate. Latch half engaged, its padlock hanging open. Joey hooked the handle, dragged himself closer, listening for boots above. Inside, a red duffel, seams frayed, smelling of tar and damp wool. He unzipped. First thing, a black spiral notebook, cover slick with fingerprints. Page after page of names dated like ledger entries, most struck through with neat X's. He flipped forward till he found his own, penciled and underlined. Joey Miller, room 6, scheduled June 11th. His breath snagged. He kept digging. Under the notebook, wrapped in an oil rag, an orange flare gun. Plastic body scorched at the muzzle but intact. A single cartridge already chambered. Joey thumbed the hammer, felt the heavy click. Not a weapon meant for aim so much as for prayer. Above him, boards creaked, measured footfalls. Cook descending. Oh, Joey, I know you're down there. You left a blood trail. Nobody's coming for you, Joey. Nobody cares about the scum they release from that damn prison. His heavy footfalls almost at the doorway. You see, Joey, the sea. She keeps my secrets. All of them. Joey leveled the flare gun at the open hatch, elbow locked because shoulder strength had fled. Cook appeared in the rectangle of dim light. Hood back, face unreadable, knife gleaming wet. Go ahead. Cook smiled, almost paternal. It'll bounce off. Plastic toy. Joey smiled and grabbed the oil-soaked rag that Cook had wrapped the flare gun inside. The rag was greasy and caked with oil. Joey pulled the rag over the front of the flare gun and pulled the trigger. A loud thump, followed by a burst of magnesium-fueled light, engulfed the room. The oily rag was instantly ignited and flew through the air propelled by the flare. The flare itself only bounced off Cook's chest with a meaty thunk. It hit the wall, and its trajectory brought it back, landing on the floor near Joey, illuminating the storage room with a hellish red, flickering light. The rag, however, did not bounce off Cook's slicker. It stuck to him like lava-fueled hot glue. The intense heat from the oil-covered rag melted the plastic of his slicker, bubbling like hot tar and sticking to his chest. The room smelled like plastic melting into skin. Cook's grin warped, pain catching him by surprise. He fell to the floor, rolling, trying to extinguish the flaming rag. He grunted and let out a noise that sounded inhuman. With the rag's flames suffocated by his body weight, pressing against it on the floor, Joey watched in horror. Cook's wide eyes were filled with murderous rage as he looked up. He started to crawl towards Joey, knife in his right hand, ready to gut him alive. Cook pulled himself up and onto Joey. His legs were useless to do anything. Now, face to face, the man smiled and pressed the knife against the side of Joey's neck. Joey reached out and grabbed the red-hot flare burning on the floor with his bare hand. His hand sizzled and bubbled. He jammed it as hard as he could against Cook's face. The smell was burnt nylon, seared flesh, melted beard wax. Cook screamed, a raw, unfamiliar sound, and lurched backward, colliding with storage shelves. One palm clamped over the ruin of his face. Joey pulled his body up the steep stairs leading back up to the deck. He could hear animal noises behind him. Pure rage and hate translated into grunts and screams. His arms burned as he pulled the dead weight of his body up onto the salt-sprayed deck. His fingernails dug into the old wood as he pulled himself forward. Where would he go? The water. The thought of being plunged into that deep, dark water terrified him to his core. But it was better than to face the monster that would soon come up those stairs behind him. Joey only made it a few feet. Cook climbed the stairs and stepped out onto the deck. He grinned as he staggered forward. I'm going to get you so good now, boy. We're going to make this one fun. Yes, we're going to have the fun. Piece by goddamn piece. Rip by bloody rip. Oh yeah, you're going to wish you stayed back in that jail like the trash you are. Then a loud boat horn sounded from the fog. Then a bright light fell over them, like a deer caught in the headlights. Cook raised one hand to cover his wounded face and slowly hid the bloody knife behind his back. Another vessel emerged from the thick blanket of fog 20 feet off the port side. Hull high. Nets furled. Crabber's luck. Its beam caught Joey's battered frame and pinned Cook in the glare like a specimen. A voice over loudhailer, graveled and steady. "You folks disabled? Your transponder's dark. You didn't follow us back, so we wanted to make sure." The voice cut out while the speaker took in the scene playing out in his spotlight. What in the hell is going on? Is everything okay? Cook spat blood, found his knife, tried for composure. "Greenhorn cut himself," he called. "We're fine. Moving on." Joey fell to his side, looking into the bright light, lifting his chin high so his face could be seen, his mind fading into blackness from blood loss, trying to recall what he learned from his uncle all those years ago. He thought of the compass he gave him, the time he spent on his boat as a teenager. Then, Joey blinked. The beam did not move. On Crabber's Luck's bow stood Eli Cotting, broad-shouldered, white-stubbled, a lever-action 30-30 resting easy against hip. He spoke into the mic again. "Captain, I'm going to need you to drop that knife right now." Cook groaned. "God damn it, leave us to our work now. The boy's got to learn how to use a knife properly if he's going to make it out here. Like I said, everything is fine, just a flesh wound." There was a few seconds of silence before the man on the other boat spoke again. "Then why the hell is your deckhand blinking? SOS to me, Captain." Rage broke through the mask. He bolted forward, knife raised, murder clear. The rifle cracked. Sound shredded the fog, echoed off water like cannon bark. Cook's skull opened above the left ear, a wet blossom, and he pitched forward, momentum carrying him into Joey. Blade clattered harmless. The weight of the dying man falling atop him pinned Joey to the deck. Joey might have screamed or might have just mouthed it. He could not tell. But the world folded in, tunneled, went night black. Salt wind slapped him awake hours later. He lay on a stretcher lashed to Crabber's Luck's aft deck, wool blanket heavy, oxygen mask sweet with rubber. Deckhands moved in blur around him. Radios barked coordinates. Overhead, floodlights bleached the sky. A paramedic pressed gauze to Joey's back. "Knife missed your cord by a whisper," she said, voice wrapped in calm. "You're going to keep your legs, but they'll be stubborn." Coast Guard cutters arrived with dawn. They boarded the murder vessel. They found the collection of IDs, found rings and wallets and a wristwatch that read, "Love you forever. Mom." They found notches burrowed into the helm, 28 ticks. News networks devoured the tale. Ex-con deckhand signals SOS with eyelids. Rogue fishermen hunted parolees. Ocean as graveyard, wider than imagination. Joey's photograph ran beneath headlines that screamed, "Hero survivor," although he felt neither. Rehabilitation ward, Port Angeles, half a year on. Joey sat on his bed looking down at the coastal town stretching out to the darkness of the ocean beyond. He'd been here for the last 6 months. Not just to hide from the barrage of press, but to learn to walk again. His right leg would never be the same, but he could get by with a cane. Each week the news faded, and once the shock value wore off, people went on with their lives and started talking about other things. But Joey didn't mind. He didn't want to be known as the murder boat serial killer survivor for the rest of his life anyway. He'd been clean, refusing painkillers during treatment. He traded his cigarettes for mints. This was the new start he'd wanted, just not the way he'd planned. But hell, at least this way he wouldn't be looking over his shoulder for his parole officer his entire life. Funny how things work out. He hobbled down the checkered hallway and eased down the concrete stairs outside. He sat down on the bench and took a deep breath. The air was cold. Cold enough to numb scars and sting eyes. He had the old compass in his hand, the one his uncle had given him years ago. One of the only possessions he had from his old life before prison. Thumb working the dented lid. North needle held steady, stubborn. Footsteps approached. Eli Cotting, same weather-worn coat. 2 coffees steaming. He lowered himself with a grunt. Passed 1 cup over. They drank without rush. Harbor fog rolled like mute testimony. Eli spoke first. You know, I've always got room for a good deckhand. That is, if you're ever interested. Joey laughed and tapped his cane against his leg. Hell. You're looking for someone with sea legs. My land legs don't work worth shit these days. Eli smiled. Well, could always use a good man down at the dock. Just know you have a place if you ever need one. Joey nodded, his hair blowing in the cold breeze as he looked out to sea. I think I have it figured out anyway. You know, what I'm supposed to do now. Eli turned. Oh, yeah? You have it all figured out, huh? Let me in on your grand plan. Joey told him about how several of the family members of those murdered on that boat reached out to him since this all happened. Some of them still holding on to hope, some angry. But one woman brought him purpose. She was the mother of one of the men that Cook killed out there, a man by the name of Thomas McGree. She told him about how cute Tom was as a baby. She remembered his first day of kindergarten and how he clung to her crying, not wanting to be left. How she watched him grow into a beautiful, smart, and caring young man. But then, she told him something that changed everything. They sat on this same exact bench a few weeks ago, her leaning in close, looking down. Sweetheart, I didn't lose my Tommy out there on that damn boat. My boy had been gone, dead a long time before that deranged man ever came across him. Drugs took my Tom away, the damn heroin. It changed him, and he never came back. I saw that in his eyes when I visited him in jail. He was just not Tom anymore after the drugs. He didn't even call when they let him out. Just got on that damn boat to run away. She looked Joey in the eyes and put her hand on his shoulder. Don't you ever run again. Joey told Eli of his plan then. He was going to use his pain, his past, his notoriety gained from surviving the murder boat to help others. Cook targeted the vulnerable and the lost, the ones that had nowhere else to turn, looking to escape. He would do the opposite. 3 months later, Juan Montello stepped into the dingy lobby of the motel. He was still not used to wearing regular clothing after all the time he spent in an orange jumpsuit. As he approached the front desk to use his voucher to check in, something caught his eye. A flyer, printed in a Helvetica bold font. It said, "Looking for a new start? Looking for a second chance? Are you a felon? I've been there, and I'm here to help. Call me anytime, day or night." It was signed, Joey. Juan ripped off the phone number printed on the pre-cut tab dangling at the bottom of the flyer. It was the last one left. The end. That was The Deckhand, written and performed by the author. Me, James Cawley. A story about second chances offered from the wrong hand, about the difference between being spared by the sea and being claimed by it. If tales of haunted harbors, flawed heroes, and impossible choices strike the same deep chord in you, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because I write stories like that. And I write these stories for people like us. I release a brand new original story, like this one you just heard, every week. Be sure to subscribe to Dust and Echoes, wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you like this story, please leave a comment and rating. It helps more than you know. If you want to see what stories I have coming next, visit my website, enterthedust.com. You'll find teasers, behind the scenes, content, and you can even support the channel by purchasing a paperback book edition of one of my stories. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, watch for the shapes that emerge in the fog, and remember, the best way to prevent losing something important is to realize its value before it's been lost.